Hello YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of your comments from my Chasing Creativity. I really appreciate hearing your stories and learning more about my YouTube community. So thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing with my audience. I really appreciate that. Secondly, if you would click the thumbs up for me or leave a comment, it would really help me in the algorithm. Right now, I'm really struggling to get views, so if you would do that for me, I would be greatly appreciative. So thank you so much for that. Now, today it's all about my stacks project. I am over halfway through and I'm so excited to share the results with you. It is going along great. I'm actually one drawing ahead, so I'm ready for this week's painting, and I just don't even know what to say about that. Chasing creativity has been something that I've struggled with, and I am so happy to be ahead of the game for once. I know, shocker, right? So let me get you turned around so we can have a look at the artwork. If you're new to my stacks project, I have a playlist and I'm going to connect it to my end screen so that you can go back and look at what I've done. I've shared drawing, I've shared a lot of paintings inside, but I've also shared a couple flip throughs. We ended our last flip through on number 17, so that's week 17. Each of these represents a week in my journey. So I'm going to quickly just show you where I'm up to, and this is a concertina sketchbook. So if you don't know what that is, it's like an accordion style. I am doing both sides of this one for my stacks project. So this is what it looks like unfolding. Isn't it awesome? I love seeing it unfold. It just brings a smile to my face. I'm trying to do 3 objects per week. So in this one, it would be the tag, the squirrel, and then the leaves. So that equals 3 parts. Here is where I started, and I shared with you all the way through week 17. So let me do that one little sweep at a time so that you can see the progress. Notice that the colors are different, the objects are different sizes. That's important when you're trying to do something that is flowing like this. This is where I ended off. Week 17 is actually here. This is actually 16 and then 17. And I hadn't painted the fox at the last time that I shared this with you. The fox was part of this one and it just went up to here. This is 18 is the little imagine tag, the little hexagon bolt, and then the marble. 19 is the tutorial character, the paper, and the little umbrella. $20 is the star, the little bird, and the leaf here. 21 is the little box, the little duck, and the beehive. I've still got to add little bees. I keep forgetting that. 22 is this little paper. You might recognize this from my Ordinary to Extraordinary video. So this was 22 was the little duck, the paper, and the paintbrush. 23 was the acorn, the letter H, and the little marble. 24 is this sheep, and this is a toothpick holder, and the leaves. And now we're flipping to the other side of the journal. That's what I'm loving about this. This is 25. I painted this one with you when I was sharing my Chasing Creativity. 26 is this little part, the tag here, the little color block, and this little charm. 27 is this piece of paper, the giant leaf, and the little lamb. 28 is the little key, the ring, and the bird card. Again, I shared that with you in the Ordinary to Extraordinary. Number 29 is this little Kokeshi doll, a little stub of a pencil, and then a metal tag. 30 is this conglomeration and this little fabric piece. And then 31 is this sweet little owl and this little branch. And 32 I already have drawn. Like I said, it just flowed and I had it out on my desk, so I just transferred that, and now my next week is ready to go. When I'm doing something like this, a lot of times I will work several drawings ahead because I find it easier to sit down and paint if I've already got it done. To sit and draw it out and then paint it, I usually don't do that in the same day. My head is different when I'm designing and drawing than it is when I'm actually painting. Painting, I can sit down and do, a bunch of these at one time, where drawing I usually can't. Drawing, when I'm thinking about it, if I can get 2 or 3 done, that's really a good day for me in design. So I wanted to share with this one now the fold out so that you can see it in one fell swoop as well, just like I did the other one. I hope you saw too that the colors are different, right? I've never had a purple family like this one before, so that was exciting for me. I just decided to do, because this had a dark blue and I knew I was going to do a light blue here, so I did the little numbers on the fabric squares. I mixed them between the purple and the blue, and I really like the way that they turned out. I'm going into a more orange coloration here, which I will carry through to the next one. I really want to do like an orange and a pink because I added a brighter pink here, so I think adding something to this big tag, it will look nicer with it being a little more pink and a little brighter than all the dark colors so far. But I'm really loving playing with these colors. I'm using my Art to Basic handmade watercolors, and I am enjoying playing with them in new and exciting ways. So you can see that I'm on number 31 and I've still got all of this to finish, which is really exciting. I don't think I'll make it to 52 weeks, but if I can make it through November, I'll be really proud of that, because December is usually hectic with the holidays anyway, so I won't mind not having to do this in December. I'm having a really good time doing this project. As you see, they're simple, but yet they take me some time. Like this one definitely took me more time than, say, this little section. Right? This probably took me 10 minutes, where this probably took me a good half hour because I used masking fluid to get the ribbon up there and to figure out all the different colorations, and I had to wait for the layers to dry, so that's why that one took me a little longer. This little guy, it's my first time painting him, and look at the actual figurine. Is it not the sweetest? Oh my gosh, when I found it, I almost squealed with delight in the store. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. But learning how to draw them and paint them is another one of the things that I'm loving along this journey. Is so many of these pieces I have not painted before, but making his eyes look like they did on the little figurine and pulling up that bird and then just adding one of my twigs of found leaves is just something that I love how it all pulls together, and it represents me great with nature and also found figurines and things like that. So I want you to think about, if you're going to do something like this, what do you already collect? I want you to really just look around your studio and say, well, art supplies, because all of us hoard art supplies. We've got watercolors and pencils and pens and all kinds of different things. So you can use those, like I've used one here, right? It's just something fun to add. This is another thing that I got off of a handmade paint. I just kept it because I liked the way that it looked, but yet it adds interest and you're like, what is that? You want to kind of come closer. It's my first time putting a staple in there, which I really like the way that it turned out. This was just playful and delightful to do, and that is something that I'm really striving for, to find something that brings me joy throughout the day and not a chore of painting. I also really just take my time. I don't know whoever told us artists that we have to do everything so fast, but taking my time and enjoying color mixing and figuring out like what is going to be the next color scheme from here, and then going on to here, you can see I've added more blues, but I started blues with this one, right? So now I'm introducing it in a different way. I've got yellow here, I've got some yellow here, I've got yellow here, I've got yellow here. So being continuous with my colors as well is giving this a nice playful look, but yet it looks like it's done by the same person with the same style, with the same color palette. And I'm exploring the colors, all of the colors, not just a limited few. I am using a lot that I usually haven't used, and that's why I pulled out my Art to Basic handmade watercolors, because it was a set that I bought, but I was hardly using it. So I'm enjoying having one project specific for that handmade watercolor. So think about if you've got different brands like Seignelay or Holbein, maybe you've got Kuretake or Jackson's. You know, think about how much are you actually using those, and doing a project like this where you're just immersing yourself into one brand of paint has been really helpful for me. Learning what colors mix well together, learning what colors don't, and it's just an exploration of being an artist, and I really love exploring that avenue of watercolor. So I hope this inspires you to create your own little project for a sketchbook and a certain brand of paint. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, and please give me that thumbs up. It will help my algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, please click the button. And as always, thanks so much for watching.